Hi, I'm Dan and this is my YouTube channel, Dannibal Corpse. Today's video I'll be discussing my body modifications. So I guess we should start talking about my ears. As you can see, they are both stretched and are at 25mm or an inch, and this was a very long and painful process. It took me about 2 years. I had a lot of problems with this ear, so I had to downsize straight back to a normal piercing and then work my way back up. And with this one, I don't know if you can see it, I've got a little bit of a blowout that I didn't notice. But other than that, they are both perfectly healthy, and yeah, very happy with them. Next, on my right ear, I have a rook piercing, a tragus, and a conch. I don't know how well you can see that. My rook I've had about 2 years, and my tragus and conch are fairly new. I've only had that about a month or so, but they're perfectly in line with each other. It was originally a tragus to conch scaffold piercing, so I had one bar going between the two, which is quite cool. But I had to take that out because I couldn't listen to music because I couldn't fit an earphone into my ear, which was not good. Next up is my left ear. I only have a scaffold or industrial on this one, but it's a 1.6 bar. It's actually the second scaffold I've had. I had to take the other one out because of work, but now I've got it back and I really love it. Now I have what's actually on my face. I have a bridge piercing, which is actually the third one I've had, because the first one I had, I thought it looked a bit too much, but then the second one I had to take it out because of work, and now I've decided I really wanted it back, so here it is. I have a 1.6 septum, which I intend on stretching because I want to be able to fit my little finger all the way through, just because I think that'll be quite interesting. I actually only stretched this today and it was very painful. My eyes were all just watering and got very red in the face. It was not a pleasant experience. I also have my tongue pierced. Quite a funny story about when I got my tongue pierced. I wasn't telling my mum or anyone in my family that I was getting it done. I went straight after college to go get it done. They numbed all my mouth, everything went great. It was very painful. I'm a wimp when it comes to piercings. I didn't like it at all. I get all the way home and I discover that my granddad's car is outside, and he hates piercings, tattoos, he hates it all. So I had to take all my other piercings out and go inside and pretend like I hadn't had just done, but I couldn't talk, my mouth was all swollen. And to my surprise, my mum was treating us to a chicken curry dinner that night, which is very, very spicy. And there was no way I could say no, I can't have it, because my grandparents was there and obviously it'd be rude. So it took me roughly about over an hour to finish it all because of the spice just like going around a new hole. It was it was not fun at all. Finally, on my face I have my snake bites. These are actually my first facial piercings I got. I actually got quite addicted to lip piercings. I actually ended up with 7 on my bottom lip. I don't know if you can see the scars of some I had. And I actually had one here. But I found out having so much metal in your mouth, it's actually quite heavy on your lips, so I couldn't take it anymore, so I decided to go back to my original, keep my snake bites, and yeah, I'm currently wearing 1.2 horseshoe rings with spikes on them to match my bridge. Finally, piercing wise, I have a microdermal on my right arm. I did used to have 2, but after 5 attempts in this arm, I realised that it just wasn't going to take it, so I decided to give up and just have the one. And you can see the scar here, but that's all scar tissue, and it's just not having it, so just keep the one, just to prove that I did actually have two. I think I've actually got a picture which you can see here. Now for my tattoos. As you've just seen, I've got a skull and dagger on my right forearm. I got this when I was 17 at the Liverpool Tattoo Convention. It took roughly about 2.5 hours. I'm quite a fan of black and grey tattoos. I only really want black and grey tattoos, and when I asked to get it done, the tattoo artist was quite annoyed at me really, because he specialises in colour and all I wanted was black and grey, but I insisted, and this is what we have. My first tattoo was this heartogram on my left wrist. I got this when I was 16 as a birthday present. It was done by a guy who was just training. He wasn't much older than me. He wanted people to train on, so I offered, and it's not terrible, but what can you expect? Secondly, on my left forearm is this. It's a coffin and crossbones, but it's actually meant to be this way around. It's the band logo of The Defiled, which is one of my favourite bands of all time. I saw them live when they were first starting out in 2009, when they were touring with Death Stars in Manchester, and I've been a fan ever since. So ever since their logo got released, I decided I had to get that on me, so that was done roughly last year around October. I also have a tattoo on my leg, which is of a paw print with angel wings and a halo with demon written underneath. It sounds like two opposing ideas, but a couple of years ago I had a kitten, which was my first ever pet of my own. I loved him to death, but unfortunately in a tragic accident, not long after we got him actually, he died. So I was so devastated that I just needed to get a tattoo in remembrance of him. Again, that was done by the guy who did my heartogram. It's really quite painful. It's not a great tattoo, so I won't show you, but I just thought tell you all about it. Next up, I got this tattoo a couple of months ago. It's a rose on my right upper forearm. It's this way around, and this was in dedication to my mum. For as long as I've known, she's been obsessed with flowers and gardening and stuff, so I thought keep with the traditional arm this way to match with this tattoo, and it'd also be quite a nice little surprise for my mum to let her know that I care very much about her. And yeah, it's a really nice tattoo, I think. My final tattoo is this one. It says, "Sin is merely a matter of perspective." I got this one about 10 days ago. It's still healing, it's still a bit scabby. Been putting cream on every day, making sure everything's okay with it. It's a quote from Danny Worsnop from Asking Alexandria in his The Death of Me video. Not only did I think it was a great quote, but it also stands for a lot of the stuff I stand for. And Asking Alexandria is one of my favourite bands, so I didn't have a problem with having that quote on me whatsoever. Thank you very much for watching my video on body modification. I hope to keep on vlogging and keeping you updated with what's going on with my life, so I'll be very appreciative if you subscribed, gave me a comment, thumbs up. Thank you for watching.